Hello, everyone. This is Independent Conservative. Thank you all for joining me once again. So I didn't get a chance to see this, but Turning Point USA had their America Fest, and Nicki Minaj, as you all know, was on the show, and she said some very powerful things. I heard some of the I watched some clips on it, and she said some very powerful things. And let me say this right up front before I get into what this particular topic is about. I'm not and was not am not a fan of Nicki Minaj. I'm not all crazy about her music, so I'm not here to critique any of that. I'm here to critique what she said. Now, in this particular news article, I want to read you guys. Apparently, she said that young men in America are to look up and basically admire men such as our president and J.D. Vance as strong role models. So I'm going to get right into this article and read the statements that she apparently said, and we're going to get right into this discussion because I think this is very important, particularly when we're dealing with our young men today. Regardless of what racial ethnicity you are, or whatever, doesn't matter. I think there's a shortage of strong male role models. So let's get right into this. Rap megastar Nicki Minaj urged men to look to amazing role models such as President Donald Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance at Turning Point USA's America Fest conference on Sunday. After being asked by Mrs. Erica Kirk to share her advice for young men, Minaj replied, "Don't be newscom," newscom, referring to California Governor Gavin Newsom, eliciting cheers from the America Fest audience. Interesting. Dear young men, you have amazing role models like our handsome, dashing president, the super bass singer continued, and our handsome, dashing president. I mean, it kind of sounds like flattery, whatever. But if this is not, let me say this, if this is not controlled chaos, okay, because I could go there, because all of a sudden now, she, knowing her reputation in terms of her music was very, very risque and very, very explicit, you would be like, okay, well, the transition is like, is this controlled chaos? But I could go there, but I'm not going to go there in this video. Let's assume on the positive side that this is not controlled chaos. I would interpret this phrase here, handsome, dashing president, as somewhat of a flattery. But I guess President Trump wouldn't be bothered by that, right? Anyway, and you have amazing role models like this, the assassin J.D. Vance, our vice president, Minaj added. Now, check this out. This is interesting. Our assassin, right? Now, check this out. And when I say that, the rap superstar continued before pausing and placing her hand over her mouth upon realizing her own word choice. Referring to someone as an assassin is new slang to convey someone who is good at what they do. Similar to older slang when one person tells another, "You're killing it." If anyone is wondering what happened here, assassin is new slang for some. So apparently she made a mistake. Okay, you can all get she made a mistake. Somebody else gonna probably take it and say, okay, well she meant that. We don't know. We don't know because she's explaining. It's just, if anyone is wondering what happened here, assassin is new slang for someone who utterly kicks ass at what they do. Nicki used that slang for J.D. Vance and then realized the insensitivity of using that word, given the recent assassination of Erica's husband, one ex-user explained. Kirk handed the moment gracefully, telling Minaj, "Trust me, there's nothing new under the sun that I have not heard, so you're fine." Minaj, still seemingly horrified over what she said, leaned in, appearing to try to convey something to Charlie Kirk's widow privately, to which Erica replied, "I love you." You have to laugh about it truly, Erica Kirk said into the microphone, adding, "God is so good. You let it roll off your back, and that is what's so beautiful about this moment, because if the internet wants to clip it, who cares? I love this woman. She's an amazing woman. She has soul and a heart for the Lord," Erica Kirk added of Minaj. Soul and heart for the Lord. Once again, is she a converted believer? Is she a converted Christian? I don't know. It's a possibility. I don't know. And words are words, but I know her heart, and it doesn't even matter. and you say what you want to say because I know your heart. The Starships singer then chimed in, telling Erica Kirk, "Thank you, sister. Thank you," before continuing to offer advice for young men. "For boys, be boys," she said. Absolutely, I totally agree. "It's okay, be boys. Nothing wrong with being a boy. Boys will be boys, and there's nothing wrong with that," the Anaconda singer asserted. Okay, I get it. The editor of this article is trying to remind everyone of Nicki Minaj's songs. I get it. That's kind of biased a little bit, but nevertheless. Minaj took the stage as a surprise guest on Sunday at Turning Points USA annual ending of the year conference, where she received a thunderous applause from tens of thousands of event attendees in the audience. Elsewhere in her discussion with Erica Kirk, Minaj shared that being at America Fest is more important than any concert she has ever performed anywhere in the world because slain conservative icon Charlie Kirk's organization is, quote, a direct link between young people and God. Turning Points USA's 2025 America Fest was the organization's first major event since the horrific assassination of its founder. The conference attracted over 30,000 attendees, making this year's bittersweet event the largest in Turning Points USA's history. End of article. Yes, and that is a blessing. That's good. That's good. Now, before I even get into this, I mean, people may have their own opinions about Charlie Kirk and Turning Point USA, and I'm hearing so much controversy about what is it? You know, with Candace Owens and Erica Kirk and some kind of a they supposedly had. I mean, it's just insane. It's just insane. But however way you want to look at it, this is a good thing. This particular event drew a lot of people, and that's a positive thing. Now, getting in on what Nicki Minaj said about young men and seeing President Trump and J.D. Vance as good examples of strong male role models, I totally agree. Is Donald Trump perfect? No, he is not. I'm pretty sure the left is going to try to put that in there. Well, he's this, he's that, he's done this, he's done that. Of course, he's done all those things. And it's amazing to me because a lot of these people on the left are some of the most immoral, nasty people out there. And let me not go off on them because y'all know I don't admire much of anything that a lot of these liberals do. Not all, because some of the stuff I do, you know, I think is good. It's not bad. It's not bad in and of itself. So I don't want to sound too harsh, like I have. Okay, I'm trying to monitor that. But I'm pretty sure they'd be upset about this and, oh, Trump was this and Trump was that and he made these mistakes and he had these moral holes in his character, whatever. Yes, of course. No human being is perfect, male or female. None of us is perfect. None of us, even those who are become born-again believers and Christians, are not perfect. So Trump certainly isn't, and I don't think he's necessarily a born-again believer. Not that I know of. But anyway, aside from all of that, Trump, in my opinion, and J.D. Vance are, from what we know and what we're observing, are strong, what I would consider strong alpha males. And this is the imagery that a lot of our young men need in this country. I agree with Nicki Minaj on that. This is the imagery that a lot of our young men need in this country. We have so many of our young men that have been feminized, that many of them, particularly in the black ghetto areas. Unfortunately, we have a lot of single parent homes up in the 70% rate, and most of them are females. And if you're a woman and you're trying to raise a young man, it's very, very difficult. It's very, very difficult. You know, not all the time, but let's be realistic. If there's no strong male role model in that particular family, a significant portion of the time, that young man, if that mother is not careful, is going to grow up pacified. He's going to grow up having a lot of feminine traits in terms of his emotional state and being babified and not being able to take opposition and being able to persevere. The things that make a young man a birth into manhood is going to be suppressed because of that reality. But when you have a strong male role model in the home, or a strong male role model to look up to that may not even be in the home, but you have one to look up to, such as J.D. Vance and President Trump, that can influence that young man. And we need leaders like this in positions of authority. We really, really do. As imperfect as Trump is, no one can deny the fact that he's a strong man who has standards, and he means what he says and says what he means. Okay, you have to admire him for that. Sometimes I look at Trump and I be like, man, how is he, if this is not controlled chaos, if you will, how is he able to deal with a lot of the stuff that he gets from the left and the mainstream liberal media and shows like The View, and how they're constantly, all the time, spending most of their time downing him, putting him down, calling him a fascist, calling him a Nazi, and all this other crazy, stupid stuff. Lies. What are you going to do with liars? One person. What are you going to do with liars? How does a person put up with that? And I can't help but assess that the reason why he's able to put up with it is because he's a strong man. Imperfect, but strong. He has standards, and he doesn't take down from his standards. This is what our young men need to see in this society. Because like I said before, many of them have been feminized. The far left has an invested interest in feminizing the young men and making the young women masculine. It's a reversal of roles that has been initiated and encouraged and by the radical left. And it needs to stop. And so the things that Nicki Minaj is saying here, I totally agree. Regardless of one of them, well, he says, he just said, oh man, come on, now stop with the foolishness. Just stop with the foolishness. So that's what I wanted to say about that. I totally agree. And we need this kind of representation. You know, in terms of Nicki Minaj being on the show, I did see, like I said, clips of her being on at America Fest. And she was dressed very conservatively. I hope I'm saying that right, tongue-tied here. Looking very nice. Spoke very well. The times I did hear, the clips I did, she spoke very well. And it's just touching. Like I said, if it's not controlled chaos and Nicki Minaj is trying to make a change in her life, then that is very, very good. And I pray that she puts her faith in Jesus Christ if she hasn't. I pray that she does so. I really, really, really do. So, yeah, I wanted to say that because it's absolutely true that our young men need to look up to strong males such as Trump and J.D. Vance. And I say alpha males, and let me say this as I begin to close. I say alpha males because that's how I see Trump. And that's how I see J.D. Vance to some extent. Let me try to flip it around a little bit with J.D. Vance. I don't think he's totally an alpha male per se. I could be wrong, but he may be more of a he certainly isn't a beta. Okay. But he may be a mixture of alpha and gamma, you know, we get into all the alpha, gamma male, stuff like that. But yeah, he may be a mixture of that, you know, but both are strong men. When you compare Trump and J.D. Vance and Biden and Kamala Harris, what a disgustingly huge contrast. I mean, anyone that looks up to Biden as a strong man, if you're a man and you're looking up to Biden as a strong man, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think that man is strong. I think that man has feminine traits because Biden was not a representative of a strong man. Biden was a patsy. Anybody, whether you Democrat, Republican, whatever, you could look at Biden and tell he was a patsy for the establishment, the Democratic establishment for the elites. That's what he was. He was a patsy. Trump doesn't give that off. If he is, he doesn't give that off. He doesn't give that impression that he's a patsy. He's just someone that the elites are using to push their program. Biden was all of that, in my opinion. That was the impression that I got, and I believe that was the impression that a lot of Americans got. Okay, about Biden. Just a patsy, man, weak, pushing policies that basically were not about making strong men, but pushing policies and encouraging policies by them that weakened men, that weakened young boys, pushing this LGBTQ elemental P stuff, pushing and encouraging transgenderism. One time he had a speech in the first year or so of his administration talking about affirming transgenders. And I did a video. You can go back to about 2 or 3 years. I did a video 2 or 3 years ago on that. That one kind of went over people's heads, but he said it. Affirming transgenders. What he was saying parents should affirm their transgender children. Now you have the president of the United States telling parents to do something that is psychologically and spiritually and physically destructive to that child. And the president of the United States is encouraging parents to do this, to affirm and encourage that. That is sick and disgusting and in no way indicates anything about being a strong male. That's what Satan wants. He wants to destroy strong men in this country and all over the world for that matter. But thank God we have people that are waking up. Thank God we have people, once again, if this is not controlled chaos with Nicki Minaj, that sees the light and says, look up to these. These are strong. They're imperfect, but they're strong. They have standards. This is what men need to be. And I'm going to say this and end the video on this. This is what women, real women, not these feminist goon bags, but real women want. They want strong men that are sensitive, but are strong and have standards, and not patsies who are easily pushed around, easily swayed with every wind of doctrine and every wind of belief, and slaves to their passions. That's what real women want. I'll leave it at that. So what do you guys think about Nicki Minaj's statements? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe to my channel. God bless you all and see you again.